Good evening. I want to welcome all families, community partners, distinguished guests, board members, students, and most specifically, members of the class of 2014. So I want to start by saying something that's not in my remarks. Last year we held our inaugural ceremony for the class of 2013 at Marion College. At that ceremony we limit our guests to 300. Today we're proud to celebrate with over 800 guests for just 43 graduates. So as I say that, I want to make two additional announcements. The first, as we've opened the doors to anyone that would like to come and celebrate with their scholar, we've also made a conscious decision as a school to allow you to cheer and celebrate your child, something that's not done at all schools in the city of Indianapolis. While we've made this decision, I ask that you also understand the seriousness of this ceremony, and that you also understand the nature of which and the accomplishments of which these students have received. In our city, we do not have a lot of students graduate from high school like they should. And it's important that they understand how serious this is and how much we value the hard work and their commitment to their education. With that said, I'd like to ask you to stand for our national anthem. Class 2014, please be seated. Once again, welcome to Indianapolis Lighthouse's second inaugural graduation. My name is Ryan Gall, and I have been the high school principal here for the past 6 years. Tonight is a night to celebrate and acknowledge and confirm the class of 2014 as high school graduates. To do so, I'd like to begin by welcoming our keynote speaker. Mr. Julian Grace was born and raised near Fountain Square. He's a proud graduate of Arsenal Technical High School and of Ball State University. He currently serves as the crime beat reporter for Wish TV, and it's an honor to have him speaking to us today. He joined Wish in 2011 from an affiliate in St. Louis, where his work as a reporter won him an Emmy and an Edward R. Murrow Award. He's a Beinstock Fellowship winner, and the award is given each year to a promising journalist in television news. Additionally, Julian works to alert viewers of criminal activities hurting Hoosiers here in central Indiana. In 2013, Julian received training from the National Press Photographers Association, a leading advocate in visual storytelling. This training has equipped him to showcase the creativity each story possesses. He is a proud father and husband and an advocate for education in this city. Please help me welcome Julian Grace.
how's everybody doing today? Let me try that one more time. How is everyone doing today? That was better. You know, I am truly humbled by the applause that you gave me, but I don't deserve the applause. Who deserves the applause are these Lighthouse students. Yeah, they do. Can I tell you a little bit about Lighthouse and these students? See, there were 44 seniors, and out of that 44 seniors, 43 are graduating today. That's impressive. But you know what? I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to give you another statistic, which I know a lot of you are already aware of. Out of those 43 seniors, we have determined and found out that 43 have received a Core 40 diploma or an academic honors diploma. Wow, 43? Lastly, there's one more. These 43 students, all 43 of them have been accepted to 2-year and 4-year universities. Do you realize how rare that is? I mean, seriously, do you realize how rare that is to have 43 seniors graduating out of a class of 44? Can we just give them a round of applause one more time? I know you can do better than that. Well, I will not be before you long at all. But I got to tell you before I get started to say a couple of words. It is my extreme honor to be here. You know, typically I cover crime, and I'm usually associated with the worst day of someone's life. So today I am honored to be a part of someone's best day of their life. So thank you for giving me that honor. All right, so now it's story time. I want to tell you a brief little story. There once was a little boy who grew up on the other side of the tracks. The other side of the tracks would be called the Fountain Square area. See, in Fountain Square, it's an impoverished area, a lot of crime, a lot of abandoned homes. And there was a little boy who was told that he would not amount to much. So that little boy was nervous. That little boy couldn't stand in front of anyone. He could not make eye contact. He didn't have any self-esteem in himself at all. But one day the boy thought to himself, maybe, just maybe, if he pursues his dreams, that he could do something worthwhile. Well, that little boy has been on CNN. He's been on the Good Morning Today show. He's won a number of awards. And I stand here before you today as that little boy who is now a grown man. And I'm not afraid to tell anybody that you have to dream big. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't say that to brag. No, I don't. I don't say that to brag at all. Because I was not supposed to be here. I was not supposed to make it. I was not supposed to be talking to you all, and you all were not supposed to be looking at me today, but I am here. See, there's an important thing about dreams, see? Our society has it all wrong. They say when you fail, you fail. But see, there's something else about failing. See, failing doesn't mean that you're a failure. I'm going to say that one more time. Failing does not mean that you are a failure. I'll say it one more time. Failing does not mean that you are a failure. It doesn't. See, failing and responding properly can pave the way to future successes. What do you mean by that? I got an example. Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan is described as arguably one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Now, I know LeBron James is out there, but we're not going to talk about him today. We ain't gonna, yeah, that's right. Boo. Boo. I'm with you on that one. But Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, arguably the greatest player of all time. Can I give you another example? Thomas Edison. You heard about Thomas Edison before. He wanted to create the light bulb, and he tried over 1,000 times. And for 1,000 times, his critics laughed at him. For 1,000 times, people laughed at him. But one day, he got a little flicker in that light bulb. Is that powerful or what? There's one more story I want to tell you about. It's a man by the name of George Dawson. George Dawson. He was 98 years old when he decided to pursue his dreams. So you may ask me, what was his dream? Was it some great big dream? No, it was a dream that many of us take for granted each and every day. He just simply wanted to learn how to read. So at the age of 98, he decided to pursue the dream to learn how to read. And he discovered that it wasn't that hard, and he did it. So what did he do next after he learned how to read? Well, at the age of 98, he kept pursuing his academics, and he wrote a book, and that book was titled Life is So Good. At 98 years old, he wrote a book. This was a man who could not read. This was a man who was told that he could not follow his dreams, that he was not smart enough, so he never figured out how to read until he was 98, and then he wrote a book that is sold across the USA. Thousands upon thousands of people have wrote and read that book. They have wrote to him, rather, and they've read that book. Wow. You know, if I had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Dawson, I would ask him one question, just one question. And sadly, I will not have the opportunity to ask him that question because in 2001, at the age of 101, he passed away. But that question I would ask Mr. Dawson, what was your biggest disappointment in your life? Now I'm guessing. But I think Mr. Dawson would tell me personally that the biggest disappointment in his life is that it took him 98 years to follow his dreams, 98 years to pursue his dreams. So what does that tell every adult that's in this room, every grandparent, every mother, every father, every aunt, every uncle, every cousin? What it tells you is that you are never, ever too old to pursue your dreams. Never. Don't let no one tell you that. But what about the class of 2014? What does that tell you? You know, my favorite writer is found in the good book, also known as the Bible. And in James chapter 4, verse 14, they say this simply: your life, my friends, is but a vapor. It is here for a moment, and then it vanishes away. Your life, my friend, is but a vapor. It is here for a moment, and it vanishes away. Don't wait till you're 98. Pursue your dreams right now with all of your energy that you have inside of you, all of your talent. What you want to do, you can do it. You are no different than anybody else. All you have to do is do it. Last story I will leave you with is a story that my little Christian, my little daughter, she loves so much. It's a story about David and Goliath, right? David and Goliath. See, in the story, the Bible story of David and Goliath, see, Goliath was huge. I mean, he was huge, right? And little David was just a little bitty boy. And Goliath, for those of you who know the story, he was challenging the villagers, and he was terrorizing this one community over and over again. And everybody was scared of Goliath, and they would stare at Goliath. But then you have little David. And see, little David, he was brave. He was brave, and he was not going to allow anyone to tell him what he would not be able to do. So while his friends are telling him, David, you can't take on Goliath. Do you see how big he is? You know, in my imagination, I believe that David took a step back. And he looked at Goliath. And he looked at Goliath in a way that you would look at somebody when you're about to take them out. I mean, he looked him up and down like what? Like what? And while everybody was saying that Goliath was too big to hit, David was saying Goliath is too big to miss. What I'm here to tell you, the class of 2014, dream big, because if you dream big, your dreams will be too big to miss. I love you all. Thank you for allowing me to share this day with you. We are praying for you, and congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. There I go again. I won't be long because I'm known to talk for a long time, so I'll try to make this short and sweet. For those who don't know me, my name is David Ferry Chambers III, and I was the valedictorian for the first graduating class of Lighthouse last year, 2013. And that time was special. It was special to me because not only was it the first, but we were permanently and finally leaving a learning institution that had really shaped us and acted as second parents and second homes for us. And if it weren't for the perseverance of the Lighthouse staff, many members of my class wouldn't have even accomplished their goals, but they have. And I have no qualms about saying this, if you thought that our class was something, check these guys out. Give them a hand. Unfortunately, I was not able to see the senior signing day in person. I was at Ball State at the time doing college work. But because of YouTube and its awesomeness, I was still able to see it. And I was blown away by the magnitude of success that this class has been able to build over the past 4 years. I saw students with outstanding GPAs, great aspirations, wonderful colleges that they're going to be attending. It was amazing. And after hearing all of that, how can you say they don't deserve this? They deserve this moment. They really do. But now let's get to why I'm really here. I'm here to introduce an amazing person. Because of her hard work, her passion, and just her straight out diva class that she carries herself with, you all know her and I all know her. And as the valedictorian of yesterday, nothing gives me more honor than to introduce to you the valedictorian of today for this moment, the diva, Miss Rashina Latrice Jones.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Indianapolis Lighthouse Charter School 2014 commencement. My name is Rashina Jones. As David just announced, I am valedictorian of my 2014 class. I am very honored and pleased to be standing here giving this speech. I can honestly say it wasn't easy. Thanks to God, our parents, Lighthouse teachers and administration, and Mr. Goff for making this happen for us. Their determined and constant pushing for success plays a big role while we're here today. Constantly reminding us of our future goals and mentally preparing us for the real world. Lighthouse also prepared us for the future by providing opportunities to take college classes online, college classes on college campus, taking AP classes and taking classes based on our future career, such as CNA, diesel, fire science, and architect. Lighthouse has opened many doors for us. Reflecting on my high school career and looking forward for our next step, I found the quote that is perfect to leave you with. It's by Ben Ventry. And it states, I don't believe you have to be better than anybody else. I believe you have to be better than you ever thought you could be. For me, to be better than I ever thought I could be means doing these 3 things. I'm going to discuss each thing with you and share a personal connection to my journey. Number 1, all of us have obstacles and barriers. My entire junior year was a series of obstacles and barriers. I turned 18 and thought I was grown. Tried to convince my mom and the school that I can graduate earlier. My aunt, one of the closest people in my life, died unexpectedly from breast cancer. I struggled with a lot of personal issues that I didn't know how to handle. I was angry. I dropped out. Instead of solving my problems, I overcame my barriers. I quit and walked away. These problems I was facing began closing my doors to my future. As you can see, that did not happen. I'm here today, still the top of my class. My support network of friends, family, and teachers pushed me through these obstacles. It was the constant harassing, helping, nagging, and persistence, but that got me through these obstacles. That said, college and the rest of your life will give you similar challenges. You will feel like giving up at times. You want to quit and walk away. Family and friends will die. Your grades may not be where you want them to be. You may do stupid stuff with money or with your friends, but you must be mentally prepared. You must be aware that life will give you challenges to test you. Your destiny is greater than your failure. You must find your support. You must find your support. The friends, teachers, and family who will harass, help, and nag you to push past that failure to reach your destiny. Number 2, everything matters. When I entered high school, everyone told our class that freshman year was the most important year of high school. So my freshman year, I was on my A game. But as year progressed, I started to slack. I went from 1 referral to 4 my sophomore year to 10 my junior year, down to 2 now. Even my attendance went downhill. It became harder to maintain my grades because I didn't realize that all 4 years of high school career was important, not just 1. As sophomores, we took our ECA. As juniors, we wrote personal statements, again, researching for our future. And as seniors, we made a final push to our next step of life. Every year truly matters. In college, I want us all to make it sure that every second counts. I do not want to read, see, or hear about any of you being done with college after 1 year or 1 semester. Be involved in campus life. Challenge yourself to get out of bed and make it to class 100% of your classes. Push yourself to turn in every assignment on time. File your FAFSA every year and make a strong push to graduate. Always remember, you start off as strong as you finish. Last but not least, number 3, I believe you have to have a vision to be successful in life. I don't want to live in poverty. I do not want to have the same struggles. I do not want to struggle the same way I see my mom has struggled for us. I do not want to work for minimum wage jobs or live in a terrible neighborhood. For 4 years, I saw today in my mind. I saw me as a black African-American young woman who hasn't had the perfect life nor behavior, being number 1 in her class, and heading off to college. I saw college, a career, and a better life, and I made it happen. Overcoming these obstacles and not letting them define you because you know you want to be that surgeon, dentist, nurse, marine, or engineer. It's the most important advice I have. You have to know your destiny. You will fall, but you have to learn not to let your mistakes become you. As you just heard, I had a lot of struggles and I have fallen downhill, but I promise you, as long as you have the right mindset, a vision of who you will become, and the grit to get it through, you can become a better version of yourself. As I close, it won't get easier than this. I can tell by the way Mr. Pellish worked this hard in anatomy. This is nothing compared to college. I can honestly say I'm going to miss Lighthouse. I'm going to miss Mr. Lincoln's stories about his kids and how it somehow relates to us. I'm going to miss seeing Mr. Ford doing the stanky leg once we get the problem right in English. I'm going to miss Ms. Johnson getting the crowd hype up in the pep rallies. I'm going to miss seeing Mr. Hyman face yelling at the boys in the game. I'm going to miss having talks with Mr. Gall about life problems that I have and coming up with solutions. And lastly, I'm going to miss the friendship that I gained here at Lighthouse. It's kind of strange. I never thought I would hear myself I'm going to miss Lighthouse. We all have had some funny, sad, and regretful memories here, but all we can do is learn from them, cherish them, because that was now in the past. We are now the future. We are now the leaders. We are now the change, and we are now history. I challenge us to make it all. I challenge us to all make it because no one graduates alone. I'm not going to leave you with the quote I begin with. I don't believe you have to be better than anybody else. I believe you have to be better than you ever thought you could be. You are your own competition. You are the one that determines your future. Go forward from today and become better than you ever thought you can be. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
There's a lot of people here today. Can we give Rayshina once again a round of applause? My name is Rahul Jody. I'm the Director of College Transitions here at Indianapolis Lighthouse, and I've been here for the past 5 years as well as with many of these students. Now I'm going to introduce two of the people who with me are going to help say the names of these amazing students. At Lighthouse, we have an advisory program that stays with the students from freshman year to senior year. We work hard, we push our students, we nag, we harass, we call all of you parents as much as we can to make sure they are here today. And these two people I'm going to introduce have done an amazing job. Please welcome to the stage Christina Chavarine and Megan Kinsey.
Rayshina Latrice Jones.
Adriana Renee O'Rear. Marissa Yvonne Anderson.
Wait till the conference.
Caitlin Marie Baird.
Devin DeMarcus Barnes.
Kaisha Anye Bell. Darian Lene Bruce. Cache Gloria Bynum.
Summer May Ann Crouch.
Jamar Wesley Francis. Kaylani Abrielle Fulton.
Jose Manuel Galvan II.
Shanice Brene Glover.
Sebastian Prez Guerrero Sr.
Taisha Nicole Harbin.
Kyler Alexa Hardy. Anthony Devon Harris Jr.
Kayla Renee Hicks. Lorenzo Antonio Holton II. Shaylin Taylor Irwin.
Steve Javaris Jackson.
Nicole Marie James.
Dwayne Robert Johnson Jr. Christopher Lee Jones Jr.
Santiago Dayon Jones.
Tamara Alana Mansfield.
Bibi Martinez Rodriguez. Tyler Stephen McAllister. Shaniqua McFadden.
Thomas Eric Moon.
Kevin Anthony Mormon. Keyshawn Curtis Norris. Enrique Romero Diaz. Devin Renell Sarver.
Aaliyah Monique Sellers. Dimitri R. Smith. Jill Angela Smith.
Valencia Sheree Stanberry.
Arturo Tapia Marin.
Cioria Daimone Vanderberg.
Alexis Alexandria Williams.
Can I have one more round of applause for the class of 2014? So kids, before I let you go, I want to leave you with a couple more messages. And I think first I'm going to start by talking about a member of the class of 2013, Unity Williams. You see, Unity came up to me at a dance one time just to say hi, see how I was doing. And just, Mr. Gall, hey, how's it going? And I started lighting into her about everything she hadn't done for her classes that day. She says, whoa, stop. You don't have to gall me. And I think from that point on, my name became a verb for getting galled. So today is the third time I've been in this theater. The first time was at prom a year ago, and Mr. Jody and I decided to bring the graduation ceremony here. And the second time was with you. And at that time, you galled me. As I sat in this front row and said goodbye to you and you said goodbye to me, I realized just how special this group was become to me and to our school. You see, last year gets to be the inaugural class, but what a lot of people don't realize is that many of you were a part of that inaugural class as 8th graders. You started the high school with them, you were considered high school students, and we've grown as you've grown. So, for that, I want to say thank you. However, I also want to gall you one last time. So, I have 2 things I want you to remember. And the first is a theme that Julian started and Rashina continued, and I'll add one more layer too. I want to start by talking about Mike Tyson. You see, Mike Tyson, he was known for his strength. And he got into a fight, and right before the fight, he was in his interviews. And they said, what are you going to do? The other guy, he's got better footwork than you. He can dance around. He has a much better plan to tire you out. And Mike Tyson's response was, everybody has a great plan until they get punched in the face. For some of you, high school has punched you in the face repeatedly. For some of you, I've felt like I've been punched in the face repeatedly by you. I'm going to tell you this quite honestly today. Life will continue to give you challenges that feel like a punch in the face. Just when you think you've pushed over this hurdle, something new is going to sneak up on you. Whether it's, as Rashina said, death, bad grades, failing grades, or as Julian said, it won't define you. That quote I used to think about was overcoming obstacles, but it's about endurance. It's about the fact that life is going to continue to push you and test you, and you must push and test it back. As you walk out of here today, it's nice that you have hats, it's nice that you have gowns, and it's nice that you have cords. But you need to do this again in 4 or 5 more years. That's what will secure your future. So if I start with Mike Tyson, I might as well go to X-Men next. So my wife and I don't get to see a lot of movies. We were fortunate enough to have a babysitter, and we decided to go see X-Men. Her choice, not mine. I wanted to go see The Notebook again, but she wouldn't let me. So the movie's a little confusing. There's some time travel in it. I won't ruin it for you, but there's a quote by one of the X-Men. He says, "Time is like a river. We can throw pebbles in the river, but the river will never change. It'll always flow the same way." I completely disagree with this quote. You all have been changing the river for the last 4 years in this city. You're not throwing pebbles in, you're throwing boulders. And by graduating today, you start changing your future one step at a time. You see, as you throw boulders in that river and as you graduate, almost half of you with honors diplomas, you set yourselves up for a better life. But I want you to remember one last thing, and that's that you don't do it alone. Graduates, if you can reach under your chairs, there should be a letter from an adult who cares about you greatly, if you haven't already found it. I know that all the adults that you work with that wrote these letters have been dying to write these letters ever since they first met you. They want nothing more for your success and your bright futures than your own parents do. It's my hope that as you get punched in the face in college and in life, there's something in those letters that help you get through. So with that said, I want to give out some thank yous. I first want to thank the Mayor's Office for extending our charter an additional 7 years so that we could be here today and can continue to do this work across the city. I want to thank Lighthouse Academies for providing us an opportunity to run a great school. And I think Mr. Jody understated it. I want to thank him, Ms. Chavarine and Mrs. Kinsey, for the hard work they do for our kids every day. Being an advisor is extremely challenging, and being a good one is even more so. As I watched these kids pour themselves out to their advisors last Friday when we were here, I came to the realization that they really have done amazing work with these kids. And if you could, I'd like you to give them one more round of applause. I'd like to thank all the staff who came out tonight on a Saturday night away from their families to celebrate these kids' accomplishments and to be here with them. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the 800 parents who came to celebrate their child's success and to wish them the best of luck in the future. Finally, I want to thank you, class of 2014. You have truly made our school a better place, and I have been made a better principal because of you. If you could, please stand for me, students. That special time has now arrived. This signifies that you are officially high school graduates. Class of 2014, having met the requirements of the state of Indiana for high school graduation, in front of your friends, family, teachers, and guests, I now officially proclaim you to be high school graduates. Please move your tassel from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2014. For one last time, I'd like to bring them together as a class before they go their separate ways into the world. As they come up, they will then all stand together as a class and then be dismissed to the back. Parents and guests, photos and videos are for sale at the back. Students, we have a gift for you on your way out. Rashina, please lead your class to the stage.